Script, stress, everyone experiences it, but few truly understand how it works. What exactly is stress? How does it affect your body and mind? What is its connection with emotions? And most importantly, can we control or even reshape it? Stress is not just a mental state. It is a deeply biological process. It is your body's natural response to any kind of demand, challenge, or perceived danger. Your brain, hormones, nervous system, and even your immune system all work together in this process. But stress isn't always bad. It is designed to protect you. The problem starts when stress becomes chronic, when it takes control of your emotions, and when it begins to change the structure of your brain and body. How stress works in the body. To understand stress, let's take a look at what happens inside your body when you feel threatened or overwhelmed. The moment your brain detects a stressful situation, whether it's an exam, a financial problem, or an argument, it sends an emergency signal to a small part of your brain called the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is like the control center of your nervous system. It immediately activates the fight or flight response by triggering two powerful systems: the autonomic nervous system and the endocrine system. The autonomic nervous system has two parts: the sympathetic nervous system, which prepares you for action, and the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps you relax after the danger is gone. When stress kicks in, the sympathetic system takes control, increasing your heart rate, breathing rate, and blood pressure. This ensures that oxygen and energy are quickly delivered to your muscles and brain so that you can react faster. At the same time, the endocrine system releases a surge of stress hormones, mainly cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones flood your body, sharpening your senses, boosting your strength, and preparing you to either fight or escape the situation. Your body shuts down non-essential functions like digestion and immune responses so that all energy can be focused on dealing with the stressor. This system is incredibly effective for handling short-term dangers, like running from a predator or reacting quickly in an emergency. But when stress becomes chronic, when your brain perceives threats constantly, this system remains active for too long, leading to severe physical and mental health problems. The connection between stress and emotions. Stress is deeply connected to emotions because it originates in the emotional brain. The key player here is the amygdala, the part of your brain responsible for processing fear and emotions. When the amygdala detects something stressful, it overrides rational thinking and sends signals directly to the hypothalamus to trigger the stress response. This is why, when you're stressed, you often react emotionally before thinking logically. The prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for logical thinking and decision-making, plays a balancing role. If you have strong emotional control, your prefrontal cortex keeps the amygdala in check. But under high stress, the prefrontal cortex becomes weaker, allowing the amygdala to dominate. This leads to impulsive decisions, emotional outbursts, and difficulty in handling complex situations. Stress doesn't just trigger emotions, it also amplifies them. If you're slightly anxious about something, stress can turn that anxiety into panic. If you're feeling sad, stress can make you feel hopeless. If you're angry, stress can turn that anger into rage. This is why people under chronic stress often experience mood swings, irritability, and emotional instability. But here's the interesting part. Your brain can be trained to handle stress differently. With the right techniques, you can strengthen the prefrontal cortex and reduce the amygdala's influence, allowing you to stay calm and make better decisions even in stressful situations. Short-term stress is not harmful. It can even be beneficial. It sharpens focus, boosts motivation, and enhances performance. But when stress becomes long-term, it starts causing serious damage. Chronic stress changes the structure of the brain. Studies have shown that prolonged exposure to cortisol shrinks the hippocampus, which is responsible for memory and learning. This is why people who are constantly stressed often struggle with forgetfulness, difficulty concentrating, and slower learning. At the same time, chronic stress strengthens the amygdala, making it more sensitive to fear and anxiety. This creates a dangerous cycle. Stress makes your brain more reactive to stress, which leads to even more stress. Stress also weakens the immune system, making you more vulnerable to illnesses. It increases inflammation in the body, which has been linked to conditions like heart disease, diabetes, and even depression. Long-term stress can also lead to digestive issues, high blood pressure, sleep disorders, and premature aging. But perhaps the most alarming effect of stress is on genetics. Recent research in epigenetics has shown that chronic stress can alter the way genes are expressed, passing down stress-related traits to future generations. This means that if you live under constant stress, you might be affecting not only your own health, but also the mental and physical well-being of your children. Can we change stress? The good news is that stress is not permanent, and its effects can be reversed. The human brain is plastic, meaning it can rewire itself. With the right strategies, you can train your brain to respond to stress in a healthier way. 1. Reframe stress as a challenge, not a threat. Studies show that people who view stress as a challenge instead of a threat experience fewer negative effects. If you tell yourself, "This stress is helping me prepare," your brain reacts differently. Your body still releases adrenaline, but instead of feeling overwhelmed, you feel motivated. 2. Activate the relaxation response. Deep breathing, meditation, and mindfulness activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which lowers cortisol levels and brings the body back to a relaxed state. 3. Strengthen the prefrontal cortex. Practices like meditation, problem solving, and journaling strengthen the prefrontal cortex, helping it regulate emotional responses more effectively. Over time, this reduces the power of the amygdala and makes you more resilient to stress. 4. Engage in physical activity. Exercise is a natural stress reliever. It releases endorphins, which act as natural painkillers and mood boosters. Physical movement also reduces cortisol and improves brain function. 5. Build strong social connections. Having a supportive social circle lowers stress levels and increases oxytocin, the hormone responsible for relaxation and emotional bonding. Talking to someone you trust helps release built-up stress and provides emotional stability. 6. Prioritize sleep. Sleep is when your brain repairs itself. Lack of sleep increases stress hormones and damages cognitive functions. Prioritizing good sleep is one of the most powerful ways to reduce stress. 7. Practice gratitude. When you focus on what you're grateful for, your brain shifts attention away from stress and towards positive emotions. Gratitude rewires the brain, making it more resistant to stress over time. Conclusion: stress is not the enemy. It is a signal from your brain. The key is not to eliminate stress completely, but to manage it in a way that makes you stronger instead of weaker. By understanding how stress works at a biological and emotional level, you gain the power to control it. And when you control stress, you take control of your emotions, your brain, and ultimately your life.